Hey everybody, welcome to When Two Becomes One. This is a new show that we're starting to just talk about different couples issues and things that are affecting couples in this day and time. Everybody around this table is friends. We are all couples. We hang out together. We chill together. We are our friend group. And so we just decided that it would be worth coming together and having conversations to share with the general public, because as couples, we talk about couples issues all the time. And so we thought that maybe someone else or other couples may be able to benefit from hearing about these discussions as well. This is our inaugural episode. We are so glad that you tuned in with us. And for this episode, we're just going to give you an opportunity to get to know us. So we're all going to go around and just talk about how we met. So with that being said, I'm going to pitch it off to the Bradshaws. Please. Tell the world how you met.
Hey, so I gotta talk about my ex-wife and all that guy.
Keep that short.
I definitely would keep that short. You know, because that was a short-lived relationship.
You ain't got to name her. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody knows.
You ain't dropping nobody's names.
See, look at Don.
The world wants to know about this different path. But
okay.
What's this different path?
Well, I'm gonna let my wife take over and let her fix that.
I'm the fix for us.
Yeah.
Okay. When he says we went two different ways, it was really he found someone else who he thought was his wife, but really it wasn't his wife because he never, ran that person by me. And I would have told him. I'm sorry.
Easy.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Easy.
Facts. Okay. I'm sorry. But he used to share everything with me in terms of all of the young ladies he dated. And, we were, like I said, we were just friends, so it was never really a big thing. So this one, this young lady kind of took me by surprise. I was like, oh, really? I said, okay. But I did ask him one question. How do you know that she is your wife? And he got real quiet and couldn't say anything. So I just dropped that nugget on him, and I just, allowed him to make that decision.
Growing up, as you said, we were always good friends, and I dated a lot of women. And I always brought to her attention, okay, what do you think about this woman? What do you think about that woman? And she always gave me her honest opinion. I always respected
Never showed
that.
any biases because,
but you respected her.
Right. In the midst of him dating these other young ladies when we were teenagers, he never told me how he really felt about me.
Oh, wow. Closed mouth.
So I wanted to have fun for my prom. And I didn't want to take somebody that I did not know. And at the time, I was not dating anyone. And my mother was getting ready to set me up with somebody who was a son of somebody. And I was like, no. So I asked my friend to, come to prom with me. So he agreed. He was excited, everything. So we go to my prom. We have a good time. Then we get back in the limo. So he leans over to me and just out of nowhere, he starts telling me how he really feels about me. Now, mind you, we have been friends all these years. I've gone through all of the girlfriends, and I've just been a listening ear.
Many.
It was never...
Yeah, right.
Many.
I believe it.
It was never, why doesn't he like me? It was never that type of thing. So... As he's telling me, I'm busting out laughing.
Oh, wow.
I would have too.
And it wasn't.
You would have been.
Honestly, it was not laughing at him, but it's caught me off guard.
He's still crying.
It caught me off guard.
Stacey, I told you we're not going to do that.
And so I was speechless. I didn't know what to say at that moment in time. It was just like, how do you just have that bomb just dropped on you? And it's just like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this?
She laughed at me. She laughed in my face.
At least she didn't say wow.
And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I said something wrong. Because I was always known as the funny guy, always making everybody laugh. And so I said, okay, I'm going to try this on day 2. So on day 2, we in that Toyota Tercel. Corolla. We going down 95 South. Jesus. So she's driving. So, we sitting there, we riding, and, we just having leisure conversation. And we talking about, the prom the night before, and I looked over and I said, yesterday I told you that, I really liked you and I was really feeling you. So, I really want to know, what's up, and I think we should take this, to a different level. She laughed again. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Mercy.
So the thing was that I liked Rank. I did. I had feelings for him. But at the same...
No.
Okay, Monet,
Well,
you
yeah, she
jumping,
did.
Monet,
She
you
laughed
jumping
at it.
ahead of my story.
Sorry.
Yeah, she did. She laughed at it.
Yeah, thank you.
So it was just kind of for me, it was just kind of, it caught me off guard. I didn't know how to respond. So when I got to Bennett, I wrote him a 5-page letter.
Oh, wow.
Was it 5 page
5 pages.
I wrote 5-page front and back to him.
You still got that letter?
I got the letter. He never responded. So then I called.
He never got it. He never knew it.
No. He got it.
He got it because she got
Then
it.
I called.
Nigga, that's a 10-page letter.
His mama answered the phone. His mama said, "Hold on." She must have said something to him, and then she came back on the phone and said, "He's not available. Or he's not here." Something she said. So I said, "You know what?
That's right.
I'm done." Because I was going to, and in the letter I had said, well, let's figure out how we can make this work. Because I know you don't like long distances, but I'm going to come home on the weekends. I mean, not on the weekends, but, holidays and different things like that. So let's just, see how we make it work. He said nothing. So later on, I found out he said nothing because he was hurt. And he was standing right next to
Rightfully
his
so.
mother. Stacey, whose side are you on? Queens
Nobody.
stick together. Queens stick together.
You're right, Queen. My
But
bad.
anyway, so time passed. We go our separate ways. So then he gets this phone call. Now, I get the phone call. So when he calls me, I'm crushed. I'm hurt. Because I'm sitting here thinking, he was single, I was single. Eventually, God will allow our paths to cross again. So when he calls and he tells me that he's getting married, I'm sitting up here like my world has just, So that's when I asked him that question: how do you know that she is your wife? He sent me an invitation to the wedding, and of course I did not go. But he later told me he was expecting for me to go because he wanted me to stop him from getting
Jesus.
I honestly, when I made my guest list, and how we all know we go through that, guest list, and you sitting there, you're just like, you don't want to miss anybody. And outside of my family, Alicia was the first person that I put on that list after my family. And I dreaded the phone call. But I was like, this is my best friend. Like,
She'll
we're going,
understand.
she's gonna be happy for me, And when I told her, I can hear the hurt in her voice because when I was like, so you gonna come? And she was like, nothing. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna send you the invitation and I'll just talk to you later. And the day of the wedding, Dawn was there. And I'm sitting there and I was like, man, I know Alicia gonna come. I was like, I know she gonna come. And I'm like, she ain't come, she ain't call you, she say nothing. And I'm looking out, and I'm looking, and I never saw her. And I looked, it was like that last opportunity because I was like, well, maybe she gonna come right before the ceremony starts. And she never came. And find out that she had never no intentions of coming in. When we had conversations after the fact, she said, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had came, I was gonna stand up and object this because
Really?
I knew this was not right. And I honestly, I respect her for that.
Lack of action.
And I honestly, and I'm being very transparent and honest, I wish she had.
Okay.
The only reason why, again, I married my ex-wife was to spite my mother. I proposed to my ex-wife while we were having sex. So I knew that wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah, I've done that before.
It was,
Did she get all the way up?
We're editing it.
yeah. that was, but I always knew that Alicia was the one for me. I really feel like from that, I learned a lot. And it made me the person I am now, the husband I am now, the father I am now, to know that I need to be real and just go with my heart. And my heart was Alicia. And September 20th, we stood before God and confessed our love and our dues, and here we are today.
Yep.
All right. We're going to take the spotlight off of the Bradshaws
Thank you.
for a second. I want to pitch it off to the McGee's. Please introduce yourselves. Tell everyone your name, and how did you guys meet?
So, I'm Dawn,
I'm Will.
and our story has two versions. There's the truth, and then there's William's version. So, I'm going to go ahead and let him have his moment, and then I'll clear it up.
Well, let me go ahead and tell y'all how this went down. We had a Mother's Day play at our church, Lane Memorial CME, Washington, D.C., and she came with her mom and her aunt. And at the end of the play, again, my brother and this time her aunt were working together trying to, they were trying to put us together to get us to go on a date. But didn't happen at that time.
Because?
Because it didn't happen. That's
So, it didn't happen at that time because he was in a relationship.
I ain't cut this out. I was not.
Okay, he was in a relationship.
That's not true.
And I communicated to Danny and my aunt. I said, you all over here calculating, but I see him over to our left having a conversation with a young lady who I had been seeing him every time we got together. It always just
When you had a
pair up.
When you had a barbecue,
So-
can you stop us?
That means you have been watching him.
Thank you,
No,
Sam.
no.
Thank
Let's be
you,
clear.
Sam. And
No,
when
no.
you had a barbecue,
No.
can you help
No,
the
no,
gnats
no.
are flying
No,
around?
no. But my point to the two, our family members that kept talking was, wait a minute, how are you all over here planning and there's already a ball in motion? That's where I was coming from. Okay, continue.
The ball was dead. Okay, wasn't no ball. Anyway, so in the summer, I had an idea to get like all the young adults within our sister churches to go to a Nats game. We tried to do it again.
And this time he didn't tell anybody.
Okay. Here's what happened. I put it out. Nobody responded this time. So I told her, I said, hey, looks like nobody wants to go this time. And she says, well, then I guess I'll just go by myself.
Right. At this time, I had been single for 7 years. 7 years. I had done a lot of things by myself. Travel,
Don't tell too
concerts,
much.
whatever. And so my point is, when I said no problem, I would go by myself. I really wasn't being facetious because I had done a lot by myself.
Let me pause you for a second. How does one stay single for 7 years?
I don't feel that's
Growing up in
So-
Southeast.
How does that?
It was definitely a spiritual and a personal retreat, if you will.
A 7-year retreat?
7-year retreat.
That's
It was
more like a sabbatical.
It was not my plan. I will tell you that it was not my plan. I had gone through a period where I was really seeking some spiritual growth and divine intervention, and I had a praying experience. And
Your king.
a
can't
few,
arrive.
not that fast, Sam, but a few days after that personal praying time, I had a dream and a revelation that I'll be single for 7 years. And when I came awake, I was, like, 7, what was that dream about? But I didn't expect it to be what it was. And it was a desert for 7 years.
Like no court. Did
There was
anyone
no
try to come and date
courting.
you?
So this is the funny part. It was kind of like being caged like an animal in a zoo where people come to visit. And so, yes, there were people that were trying to seek my time and attention, but there was always something that said, do you really want to waste your time? By the end of this 7-year journey, I can honestly say my heart was different. My mind was different. I was actually ready. If I had married anybody before then, it would have failed. I would have been divorced because I was not in mind, heart, and spirit ready for the responsibility of a marriage relationship. I was not. So it was necessary.
Yeah, she was definitely ready.
Oh. Yeah, so that is, and so that Nats game was our first date, our first conversation, and we were together ever since that day. There was no break in our interaction after August 25th, 2011.
She remembers the date.
Yeah.
Billy.
That's it. Put it on, bro. That's it.
No, she's still questioning her decision.
Hey,
She said she was like an animal in a cage.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I let the cage. I opened the cage. But
Yes, you did.
God.
Yes, you did.
All
you in the
right.
cage, did
So Billy, we got Don's recount of what happened up until, what was it, August 25th, 2011? Billy, from your perspective, what happened after August 25th, 2011?
let me tell you what happened. Okay, so we had a good time at the baseball game. I was shocked. So I was like, I'm expecting to, I was like, man, I really don't want to go to the baseball game and talk about the Bible the whole time. So, but so I was actually, very shocked and pleased because, I enjoyed talking to her. Yeah, it's because it was, like I said, it wasn't what I expected. I was like, let me do this, get my brother off my back, do this, move on, whatever. Because again, I'm like her. I'm like, well, I wasn't single for no 7 years, but
But it was a year though.
no,
Or you said sometime.
yeah,
It was sometime.
whatever. Yeah, it wasn't no 7 years.
It's all
But-
good.
I think it took both of us by surprise. Just
It
how
did.
much we were, in one another. So.
And the crazy thing, the day he asked me to be exclusive, it was 7 years and a day.
Wow.
So when I got home, I had a personal meltdown because I was like, God, what are you saying? So I was very guarded because I was like, whoa, that's kind of threw me just a little bit. But all in all, it's been fun.
Absolutely.
So,